Still in these neat areas, rocks and the pine trees, and we're going along a valley. There's a little stream below. I'm going to wait a few more miles and then do my final fill up before the 38-mile stretch. That's 50 something kilometres. Allegedly there's some caches in between, so fingers crossed there are. Good morning, it is day 44. Yesterday was a pretty cool day. There seemed to be an awful lot of uphills. We started with an uphill, down over saddle, along the side, then another uphill. Cruise control and Logan caught me when I was having a break, and the rest of the day I ended up in the middle of them. They walk quite separate during the day and just get together a couple of times, and then at night, so I had one or the other of them in front of me most of the time. Went through an area of deadfall, which is nice and fun, clambering over things, and then into this lovely area of pine trees by the rivers. Water was a big issue yesterday. It was the first stretch was 16 miles. And I was hot day, lots of hills, so I actually just about ran out of water. Today is even worse. Once we leave these streams, then we're on to 38 miles. So I'm trying to drink as much as I can now, and then I'm going to fill up with water just before we leave the stream. And then yeah, there may be some caches which will make it a bit more comfortable. And there is Logan down there. They ended up camping just around the corner from me, which I didn't realise till I went to go to the toilet. Yeah, so I'll try. The pace will be a bit faster today. My pack's a little lighter, still heavier than it has been the rest of the hike, but I'm getting used to it now. And I'd like to go a little bit faster just to get to the water quicker. So hopefully it's a good day. It's a nice little pool until you actually want to get across it. And another river crossing. This morning's a lot cooler than it has been. So I'm walking 7:20. I started walking, but yeah, my hands are pretty cold, so I'm trying to wait till they warm up a little bit. It's one of the reasons I'm holding off filling up my water. But yeah, borderline needing gloves. So it's a bit different than it has been. There are some notices at a junction back there talking about a couple of water caches, but they're dated 1st of April. And Guthook's last report was 23rd of April. It said there was a fair bit there, but you never know what happens. It's nearly 2 weeks, so we're doing a 0.3 of a mile detour to get to a spring, and then maximum load up plus camel up, and camel up means just drink as much water as you can there, just in case. So we're at the spring, going through our ritual of filtering our water, because there is a long stretch ahead. Potentially there might be some caches, but we're not relying on it. So here's the ritual. And basically, little weeny filters get attached to the end of our bladders, and that's it. And here's the spring. Absolutely beautiful spring. Back up the road, back onto the trail. It's beautiful walking along here. Or just pine forest. Yeah, just absolutely lovely. I think we're on relatively flat ground, so very small undulations for the first couple of miles, which is nice. Here's a symbolic gate, given there's actually no fence on either side of it. Little squirrel or something up there. Seems like every rock's got its own little squirrel. They're all sunbathing, and then as I come along they all duck behind. Lots of, I assume, deer on this trail. I'm out of the forest now. Now it's in this open, scrubby, rocky area, and it's not hot yet, but it's definitely starting to get there. So I think it's going to be a hot day out in the open. This is cool, zigzagging up through the rocks. I thought we'd go around this hill, but no, we're going up and over. There's only one trouble with drinking lots of water, camelling up before a dry stretch. That means you need to go to the toilet a whole lot more often. So in less than 40 minutes I've already had to go twice. So all of my work forcing that water down, it's all just disappearing into the ground.
So much fun.
Here's the panorama. Rocky here, dead trees, and then forest over there. Neat rock outcrops. Now I get to see the other side. Woohoo! This is so neat. Look at that. The rocks in there. There's a mountain in the background as well, right on the skyline. Wow, this is a neat morning. Just loving the views, and I like this rocky terrain. Nice and different from yesterday. Here's a better spot for a panorama. Pretty cool scenery. I was up on that ridge line, but there's a big downhill at the moment. Switchbacking down, so the gradient's not too bad. And in the trees again, which is nice. So we will be going up because there's nowhere else left but up. Still advertising rides, which is handy if you get sick. Woo! Look at the water cache. Yeah. Now I can drink. There's Logan and cruise control taking off. I'm just going to give them a few minutes. I find if I'm around people it influences my speed, so I'll let them get a bit further ahead. But a huge thank you to whichever trail angel it is that has done this water cache. From here, best case is 15 miles to another cache. If not, it's a 27-mile leg, and we keep going down and then we're heading up that hill, so it's going to be hot, exposed and uphill. So it'd be really nice if that other cache is there, but I'm not relying on it. Alright, so I am now off. The guys are far enough ahead that hopefully I won't be influenced by them. I'm going to try and push on and get to the cache and camp there, which means it's going to be a long day. It'll be a 26-mile day, but it's 20 past 11 and I've already done 11.7 miles, so as long as I keep a nice steady pace, I'll get there well before dark, I hope. Yeah, and it's much nicer to camp with a bit of water. And another trail register to fill in. Oops, I broke it! I managed to drink 1.5 litres at that water cache. I'm not a big fan of drinking, and I don't drink a lot. Probably drink less than most average people, so trying to force the water in, and not too fast either. Otherwise it's just going to go straight through me. So I got a little flavour liquid which I was using, which was helping to try and get it in. But I probably only used about maybe 200 mils from the spring to that cache. So I didn't need a lot of water. So what most people would have filled up, I used to drink. We're still dropping. We're going to drop down into the valley behind the hill, but you're starting to see the trail zigzagging up that hill. That looks to be a pretty old Joshua tree, all the branches on it. Someone told me how quickly they grow. I can't remember it, but I know it was very, very slow. So that's an old tree. Hey, the cactus! I haven't seen anything like that for ages. Still climbing the hill, and now I've got nice soft sand just to make it even harder. The hill actually hasn't been as bad as I was expecting, though I'm still nowhere near the top yet. See the road, the water cache was just as it's over the brow of the hill. Alright, still up. So I'm nearly at the top of this hill, and then I see another huge hill behind. I'm assuming we're going round it. Thankfully I don't see tracks up it. Get a little bit of a downhill, but then it's back uphill again, up to the, I'm assuming there's a saddle around the other side. I just stopped and had a nice lunch, had a bigger lunch than normal, a little hungrier than usual, which is good, because I'm still struggling to force myself to eat. And now, tackle this hill. I had a look at the map, and it's a lot of up and down, big ups, big downs. But the good news is I only have 10 miles to go, so 16 kilometres to go, and I am hopefully at a water cache, and that's where I'll be camping for the night. But still got heaps of water, so I'm still good. Bulk of the climb's done now. It's just going around the side of this hill. I think today is just going to be a day of just huge views everywhere you look. So I've made it to the saddle, and being a saddle, that means the next step will be some climbing. It's a little information thing about a tortoise, and then the trail heads that way, and back on the trail. Track's been washed away quite badly. There's been a couple of places like this. Means we actually have to jump across the gap to get to the other side. Lizard marking the way. This afternoon is all about balance. So it's balancing my speed so that I'm covering ground at a good rate, but I'm not tiring myself out, and importantly, I'm not sweating. And then the water that I have, once again, it's a balance between keeping myself hydrated enough to function and not going through all of my water before I can confirm that the cache has anything or I arrive at the next spring. So definitely a challenging afternoon to try and balance all of those things. Just crossed another road. Oh, another information sign about the turtle. Unlike normal, it's actually really hard to see where the trail is going because there's a lot of trail bikes and they've been putting routes all over the hillsides. So yeah, not sure. I think we've got to go up around that hill, but guess I'll see. So that big hill, yes, I'm climbing it. Around slightly to the side, so I'm not going over the tallest part, but still, there's a big climb ahead. The chipmunks are doing the squirrel trick, racing across the trail in front of me, then disappearing. Why they don't just stay on the same side, I don't know. This is another of those hills where the track is really sandy, just to make the hill that little bit harder. At the top, now it's winding around the hill. You can see it to there, going along and over. It should go around the other side and then start dropping. Here's one of those bees, but it's brown instead of red. Fast. I just had a really nice break under the one tree that I've seen up on this hill. So there was some nice shade, and there's what looks to be like a cell phone tower nearby, but I was only getting one band of reception, one bar. But I thought, hey, let's give it a try anyway. Turned on the internet and I had 4G. I think that's the first time I've had 4G since I've been here. I've been very underwhelmed with the phone plan. So I was able to do an order for a watch band because last night I broke my one and it's now been held together with duct tape. So very happy to be able to get that order in. Paid extra for shipping, and it's in stock, so hopefully it will be waiting for me when I get to Kennedy Meadows. Now on the last little part before we start dropping down, and be quite a big drop, about 3 miles to go, and then at the cache, which fingers crossed has some water. But have a look at this view. Long way down and pretty flat there. Still some flowers. I haven't been mentioning them much today because I've been focused on the water. But there has been the odd flower, little weeny flowers, a few of the normal yellow ones, and occasional lupins. So Logan is just behind me. Thankfully he picked up my toilet paper bag, which I dropped because it's hard getting good quality plastic. And then he said I just about stepped on a rattler, which I didn't see, and it wasn't making a noise. Alright, so that looks like the track disappearing over the hill there, and then we should start going along the side of the hill and dropping down. Whew, this bit looks a bit slippery. Let's put the... Whew. I'm glad we're going along the side of this hill and not trying to climb it. Whoop. So yeah, and tracks. A little narrow and slippery, but not too bad. Oh. Right, along the side of this really steep hill, around to the road, and then it's under the road for a little bit. So, woohoo! Mainly downhill. Alright, I think my destination is just over the next rise. Woohoo! So, 17:30. So that was a pretty quick 26 miles. So when I came into the car park, we saw this car here, and it is trail magic. So this is Trail Angel number 1. And Trail Angel number 2, making grilled sandwiches. Amazing. Hey, these are the 2 Trail Angels, George and Corbin. They have driven 10 hours from near Salt Lake City to be here and do this for us. Cheers, guys.
Have a good day.
And that's how you finish off a pretty cool day.
It wasn't a cool day.
Oh, these cool clouds. Beautiful.